Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video I am using a alternative method to the Le Mans strategy. This is because I've received a few comments about this specific car, the Honda 2 and 4. Basically with a lot of people saying it's a very good car to use for this method and one of the best. So I thought I'd go and test it and see what happens. So basically, you've seen this video, so as you should have guessed, it is a very viable method and it is a pretty good method. Would I say it's one of the strongest? No, I have other methods I prefer to use, but I can see why this car may be good to a lot of players. So you can buy this car for quite an expensive amount. It's 1 million credits, but you will earn that back within an hour. So, the car does pretty much buy itself. So the event we're going to be doing is the usual. It's in Europe. It's at the Le Mans circuit, and it's the World Touring Car 700. So just some tips for this car: put as many upgrades as you can on, get some intermediate tires and some heavy wets, just because this event likes to rain a lot, and away you go. So the first thing we're going to do is set the fuel to 6. What you're going to be doing is swapping between fuel mix 6 and 1. So if you want to go for an overtake, I would recommend going to fuel mix 1, and especially on some of the straights, even though you will see pretty clearly this car will outperform the Group 4 cars in the race on these straights. So in my opinion, I can see why this method is quite popular with a lot of people in my comment section, because this car is very good with its fuel. However, the main thing that sort of would put me off is that this car isn't ridiculously overpowered like some of the other cars we've used before. So the Red Bull's very powerful. You can even use a 600 pp Tomahawk. It takes a few pit stops, but you can use that. And obviously I did one with the Nissan Silvia. Now, this car is good, but I would say it is the weakest of the bunch. However, the fuel saving and the fuel economy of this car really does, do it justice and basically makes it worth it as a viable method. Throughout this gameplay, I did get an error, so I did have to start again. And so if it looks like it's changed a bit, that is why. Obviously I want to give my reason as to why some of the cars might be in a different position, or my lap times have changed. But yeah, I do think there is a bit of a learning curve for this car, because it is a bit weird handling wise at first, but once you get used to it, it is a very strong car for this track. So like I've mentioned, the real, where this car shines is in its fuel economy. So fuel saving, you will need to do it if you want to go as long as possible, but you will find that the fuel just doesn't seem to want to run out in this car. As I do overtakes, as you can see, I will go to fuel mix 1 to basically out accelerate them and get a better run down some of these longer straights, and I will mostly at any other moment be running fuel mix 6. So just after this clip here, this is where I got my error, but then I'm going to take you through the rest of the strategy. Obviously it does change. Sometimes you will get a clean run and it won't rain, in which case this car will be absolutely amazing. As you can see, after I got my error and I had to start again, I did get rain on the middle of lap 3. So for me, this is where the car's at its weakest. I am not a huge fan of it in the rain. It felt very weird. I do have all assists off, but it did seem to not grip as well in the rain. Obviously I'm still running my dry tyres here, but even on inters, yeah, it didn't feel as good as some of the other cars. So as you can see here, as soon as the rain came down, I went into the pits, fueled it back up and put my intermediate tyres on. This is obviously only if it rains. If not, the hard tyres should do, and you may only have to pit for fuel. Like I said, that's really where the car is going to shine and be really strong. I have had quite a few runs where it doesn't rain, but the majority of the time it will rain. So average I'd say is lap 2 or 3 where you'll get the rain. So we've just gone for the pit here. We're going to put the fuel in, we're going to put the tyres on, and then I'm going to talk you through the rest of the strategy. So with this channel, I am very much involved in the Gran Turismo community, and I want to help the community as much as possible. So if you do have any recommendations, please leave them in the comments and I will try them out. And if they're successful, I will give you credit. The only reason I can't name the person that left the comment is because there was quite a few in there recommending this car, and I don't want to just sort of be like, oh yeah, this person recommended it. As you can see with the car itself, it is, even though it's quite damp on the track, it's a real fun car to drive. It's not shy, it will get its back end out. But it is a real, joy to drive, and it is really controllable. Even if it is a little bit twitchy, it might take you some, getting used to. As you can see, at the end of lap 6, I've got quite a healthy lead, to the point where I can just pull up, park up, stop, and let the timer run down. So I did make a few mistakes in the rain, but if you have got a bigger lead than me, then you should be a lot more comfortable with just sitting here and just letting the timer go down. This reduces the time between doing the event, and saves you doing an extra lap. So as you can see, we're just going to go over the finish line. We're going to finish the event with a clean race bonus. Even though we made a few mistakes, it was still penalty free, but obviously the penalties won't really affect your payout. So it's 825k every half an hour. So in an hour, you're going to be earning 1.6 million plus. So yes, it is a viable method. If you like this kind of content, please like, comment and subscribe. I make this kind of content each and every single day. I'll see you all in the next one. Don't forget to recommend more methods and I'll try them out. Cheers.